Hey, joining us now on the MARR Army Rock Show, right in our backyard, man. You never know where you're going to find great music. You know, we look around the globe, and sometimes it's in our backyard. And up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, we find 6 Bar Break. We've got Ben, RT, and Dave with us. They have a great new record out called Cleaner Than I Feel. And they're on the MARR Army Rock Show for the first time this evening. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
So, hey, let's start talking a little bit about the history of the band. You've been described as a band with a story to tell by some. So, tell me a little bit about that story.
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, I think we try to write all of our songs to be relatable. You know, there's something we've all experienced. You know, whether it was the band proper, or just RT, or just Dave or myself. All of our songs have something to say. Something we believe in, something that's happened to us, someplace we're going, or someplace we want to be.
Anybody else want to chime in with that, or is that?
No, I mean, I think Ben's right. A lot of our songs come from experiences that we've had in life, or things that we've just observed that have come into Ben's writing, most likely.
So the new album pre-order started on September 1st, and the album it looks like it drops on the 28th, which at the time of airing, it's going to be out. So tell us a little bit more about the making of the record. How long was this in the works, and where it was recorded, and all that good stuff?
Totally, man. We started working on the album just as the year came on. We got together at Studio B here in Harrisburg, and I would say mid-January, we started getting all the drum tracks ready to go. We spent a whole day in the studio just working on the drum mics and placements and the mix for those, and getting all of the guitars and bass and vocal scratch tracks going so that we could bring those back at a later time. I think it was maybe even the next weekend, or maybe 2 weeks later, we came back, laid down bass for a day, and then laid down guitars for a day, and the same thing for vocals the next month. We mixed and mastered it all in-house. We have a couple other producers or mixing engineers or bands in the area that we spend a lot of time with, so we bounced the album off of them before it was ready to go. Just sort of got some constructive criticism on it. You make sure all of our ducks were in a row, that everything we thought sounded good. We tried to pick 5 songs for the album that we thought had something to say, that were some of our favorites to play out. Maybe technical songs, maybe not technical songs. Nothing really having to do with how new or old they were, but just the ones that we seem to like to play for the crowds the most, and the ones that crowds like to hear. So we tried to pick those out. We finished mixing and mastering in June. And then in July, we spent 2 days shooting a bunch of video around the Harrisburg area. Some of it at a cool music store in the area called BCR Music that let us invade the whole store and take over. And we hung out there with a bunch of other musicians and recorded there, as well as in the studio and on a couple stages and locations. So it came right up to, I would say, August of this year, when we were pressing CDs and videos were ready to go, and just running right up until we set the pre-order for September 1st. So we're stoked. We've been working on it most of 2018, and September couldn't have gotten here fast enough.
So, hey, I want to ask you about a couple songs, and the first one I want to ask you about is the tune "Falling Down." Now, I want to ask a little bit about the meaning behind that song, because it sounds like one of those songs that could have a lot of different meanings all at the same time.
Totally. There was 2 things that really sparked that one off. I think we've all either known people or have been people who have battled with drugs, and it's such a problem right now that it was one of those things that we just wanted to write something about. You gotta be careful. You gotta put yourself out there and make sure you're taking care of yourself. And that's what all of the verses are about. They're all about this journey where someone had the chance to save themselves, and maybe they did and maybe they didn't. we've got to all hope that if we were, given that chance, that we knew what life had in store for us, that we would pick the right path. But then in the middle of each chorus, we have one fan in particular that loves to write to us on social media, and she always signs her posts, "Amen, love Helen." So when we put that song together, we threw that in there for her. So the turnaround when each chorus comes back it starts off with "Amen, love Helen."
So, man, the second tune I want to ask you about this evening is the tune Water's Edge. I understand that could be a somewhat autobiographical tune, possibly?
Yeah, I've had a lot of problems over the last couple years. I ended up with cancer in 2011, and that sort of set some things in motion for me where once I got myself turned around from it, I wanted to put a band together. I wanted to put some things in motion. I'd been writing for a long time, but I hadn't taken it out too often for other people to hear it and to get up on stage with it. But having that time where you spend all of your life with the doctors can really throw in perspective how much you don't want to be doing that, and how much of a struggle it can be after the fact. It sounds easy enough when you talk to them to just get rid of the problem area, but it turns out that's not the end of the story. And then that's the Water's Edge is about that. It's about just trying to get right with yourself all the time. That sometimes your own demons are the worst. The ones that you can't turn the TV off or put the phone down or any of that shit. The ones where you got to take care of yourself and there's nobody out there but you to keep you on the straight and narrow.
Now, I was taken with the band's kind of flavor and music. I really like your style, and it was, if I was to describe you to somebody else, it's kind of tricky because you're kind of interesting. You're from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but you almost got a little bit of a southern kind of flair to you, almost a little bit of Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner style. Like, what's your guys' musical influences that have formed what is your band?
Certainly some of it is that I think we come from a real diverse background, so my writing style, my playing, as far as guitars and singing go, is more of that southern rock sort of roots rock vibe. The Skinner and Allman and Government Mule and that sort of thing. But I always loved those songs and those licks and that sort of thing. And ZZ Top and just how they could carry those songs with the riffs they had written. But I think Artie and Dave bring a lot of diversity to the band, where it doesn't just pigeonhole us into that. The stuff that goes on bass in Six Bar Break carries a lot of those songs, as much as the guitar does. A lot, not maybe intricate riffs, but like very melodic and repeatable, and the drums hold it together. So. Certainly Artie and Dave can pull from there on there, but
guys, go ahead. Yeah, dive in.
Background is I sort of came in and I just picked up on what sort of Ben's vibe was. My background is from everything from jazz to prog rock, but I've had a lot of training in my life, so it's one of these things where I've got a lot to pull from, but I also am good at pulling whatever style I need to. And it's really, with the way Ben writes songs, the drum parts pretty much write themselves. So.
And is RT there on that one?
Yep, I'm here. I'm the oldest out of the member in the band, and I come from a Sabbath, Zeppelin, kind of era, all the 80s hair bands, the Iron Maiden and the Judas Priest. So, a lot of that, I come from that for my style.
Now, you guys mentioned, you didn't mention yet, I'm going to bring it up. You got a CD release party coming up. Why don't you tell folks a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah, man. We're super excited. This Saturday at Cliffs in New Cumberland, we're having a CD release party. This is the first time we've ever brought everybody together for it. We've got a killer lineup of other bands playing with us. The show starts at 9, and we're stoked. You know, we've never sort of made it an event when we released a disc before. You know, we always got the album together and released it online and released it at shows, but never really set out to say, hey, you know, this is the day that everything drops. Everybody wants to be here. Check this out. And you know, we're nailing it down. This is the one. If you want a physical disc, we will hand it to you from person to person on Saturday.
So, for folks that want to learn a little bit more about the band, want to find you guys, where's the best place to go, A, to learn more about you, and B, to pick up the new record besides a live show?
Definitely. So, it's available for pre-order now everywhere online. So, you know, Google Play, iTunes, Amazon Music, and if you go to sixbarbreak.com, there are links right there for all of those stores. But we're also 6-Bar Break on all the major platforms. You know, so if you're into Instagram, or you're into YouTube, or you're into Facebook, you can find us those places too. And we're still just 6-Bar Break.
Hey, one more thing before I let you go. I always like to take a little look into people's lives, and I noticed it seems to be you guys got a show at a Harley factory coming up, or a Harley plant, and you guys have some bikes in the videos. Are you guys big bike riders?
RT is probably our biggest rider, but we were stoked to make that video and get it out with all those dudes on it.
RT, any comments you want to share with what you ride with the rest of the world for the bikers in the crowd?
I'm currently without a bike right now, but my last bike was I had an 02 Road King Police Edition. I loved it. You know, I've been riding for a long time, and just some things took over in life and just no time for it. So it'll happen again in a couple years.
Well, we're excited to have you guys on the show. They are 6-Bar Break out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The new record, at the time this airs, I'm going to be able to tell you, it's out right now. It's Cleaner Than I Feel. And guys, we appreciate you being here. We're not going to be strangers to y'all. We're going to keep following your career, and appreciate you being on the show tonight.
Thank you very much. You too, man. Thank you so much.
Dude.